The day of the wedding arrived, and the estate was transformed into a beautiful heaven of flowers, lights, and joy. Friends and family gathered to witness the union of Adora and Chinedu, their smiles and laughter filling the air. Ebere stood by Adora's side as her maid of honor, her eyes filled with tears of happiness. "You look beautiful, Adora," she whispered as they prepared to walk down the aisle. Adora smiled, feeling a warmth in her chest. "So do you, Ebere. Thank you for always being by my side." As the ceremony began, Adora walked down the aisle, her heart pounding with anticipation. Chinedu waited for her at the altar, his eyes locked on hers, and as she approached, she felt a wave of emotion wash over her. The ceremony was simple yet profound, a reflection of their journey together. Vows were exchanged, promises made, and as Chinedu slipped the ring onto Adora's finger, she knew that this was just the beginning of their new life together. When the officiant pronounced them husband and wife, cheers erupted from their friends and family. Chinedu leaned in and kissed Adora, sealing their love with a tender, passionate embrace. The reception that followed was filled with laughter, dancing, and joy. Ebere gave a heartfelt speech praising her sister and Chinedu for their strength and love. Adora and Chinedu danced under the stars, the world around them fading away as they reveled in their happiness. As the night came to a close, Adora and Chinedu stood together, looking out at the twinkling lights of Lagos in the distance. They had faced so many challenges, but now, they stood on the precipice of a new life, one filled with love, hope, and the promise of a brighter tomorrow. In Chinedu's arms, Adora knew that they had finally found what they had been searching for: peace, safety, and a love that would last a lifetime. And so, as they embarked on this new journey together, hand in hand, they were ready to face whatever the future held, knowing that, no matter what, they would face it together. The wedding marked a new beginning for Adora, Chinedu, and Ebere, but it also symbolized the end of a tumultuous chapter in their lives. With the danger behind them and the promise of a brighter future ahead, they embraced their new reality with open hearts. In the months following the wedding, Adora and Chinedu settled into their life as a married couple. The estate, once a place of refuge, became a home filled with warmth, laughter, and love. They began making plans for the future, discussing children, expanding their businesses, and how they wanted to give back to the community that had supported them during their darkest times. Chinedu continued to manage his charitable foundation, using his resources to help others who had faced similar hardships. The foundation grew rapidly, becoming a beacon of hope for those in need. Chinedu's reputation as a philanthropist and protector only deepened, and he found fulfillment in this new role, one that allowed him to leave his dangerous past behind. Adora, too, flourished in her new life. She excelled in her job at the financial firm, quickly rising through the ranks. Her experience and resilience made her a respected figure in the industry, and she was often sought out for her expertise. But more than that, Adora found joy in the simple things: spending time with Chinedu, supporting Ebere's blossoming art career, and planning for the future. Ebere, with her art now being exhibited in major galleries across Nigeria, found herself becoming a voice for survivors of violence. Her paintings told stories of resilience and hope, and she used her platform to raise awareness and funds for those still struggling. Her work was celebrated not just for its beauty, but for the powerful message it conveyed. Despite the peace they had found, there were still moments when the shadows of their past crept in. Nightmares would occasionally wake Adora in the middle of the night, memories of Obina and the fear that had once gripped her heart. But each time, Chinedu was there, holding her close, reminding her that she was safe and that they had overcome the worst. One day, as they sat together in the garden, Chinedu noticed Adora deep in thought. "What's on your mind?" he asked, gently squeezing her hand. Adora looked up at him, a soft smile playing on her lips. "I've been thinking about the future. About everything we've built together and everything we still want to achieve." Chinedu nodded, understanding her unspoken thoughts. And Adora took a deep breath, her eyes shining with determination. "I think it's time we start a family, Chinedu. We've created a life of stability and love, and I want to share that with our children." Chinedu's face lit up with a mixture of surprise and joy. "Are you sure, Adora? Is that what you truly want?" Adora nodded, her heart swelling with emotion. "Yes, I'm sure. I want to build a future with you, with our children." I want them to grow up in a world where they feel safe and loved, just like we do now. Chinedu pulled her into his arms, his voice filled with emotion. Then let's do it, Adora. Let's build that future together. Their decision to start a family brought a new sense of excitement and anticipation to their lives. They began making preparations, turning one of the rooms in the estate into a nursery and discussing names. The prospect of becoming parents filled them with joy, and it wasn't long before Adora discovered she was pregnant. The news brought tears of happiness to their eyes. They celebrated with Ebere, who was thrilled at the thought of becoming an aunt. The pregnancy progressed smoothly, and Adora found herself surrounded by love and support from Chinedu, Ebere, and their friends. As her due date approached, the anticipation only grew. Adora and Chinedu spent hours imagining what their child would be like, how they would raise them, and the values they would instill. They knew that parenthood would be challenging, but they were ready to face it together. Finally, the day arrived. Adora went into labor early one morning, and Chinedu was by her side every step of the way. The hours that followed were intense and emotional, but when their child, a beautiful, healthy baby girl, was placed in Adora's arms, all the pain and exhaustion melted away. Tears streamed down Adora's face as she looked at her daughter, her heart overflowing with love. Chinedu stood beside her, his eyes shining with pride and awe. "She's perfect," he whispered, gently touching the baby's tiny hand. Adora smiled through her tears. She's our miracle, Chinedu." They named her Chiamaka, meaning, God is beautiful, in Igbo. It was a name that reflected the beauty and grace that had brought them to this moment, a reminder of the love and strength that had carried them through the darkest times. As they brought Chiamaka home to the estate, Adora and Chinedu felt a profound sense of fulfillment. Their journey had been long and difficult, but it had led them to this moment, a life filled with love, peace, and hope for the future. With Chiamaka in their arms and Ebere by their side, they knew that their family was complete. And as they looked out at the world beyond the estate, they were filled with gratitude for the life they had built together, a life that had once seemed impossible, but was now a beautiful reality. And so, Adora, Chinedu, and Ebere continued their journey, knowing that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together as a family, with love as their guiding light. As the months passed, Adora and Chinedu settled into the rhythm of parenthood. Little Chiamaka became the center of their world, her laughter filling the halls of the estate and her presence bringing a new level of joy to their lives. Adora marveled at the way her daughter seemed to bring out the best in everyone, especially in Chinedu. Watching him with Chiamaka, Adora saw a gentler, more nurturing side of him emerge, a side that had been hidden beneath years of hard-earned resilience. Chinedu, too, found himself deeply changed by fatherhood. He adored Chiamaka, and his days became a balance between running his foundation and spending precious moments with his daughter. The once tough-guarded man now found himself completely vulnerable to this tiny human who had captured his heart. He often caught himself wondering how he ever lived without her and was grateful for the peace they had fought so hard to secure. Ebere, flourishing in her art career, often spent time at the estate with her niece. She found inspiration in Chiamaka's innocent curiosity and joy, translating those feelings onto her canvas. Her work continued to receive acclaim, and she used her growing platform to advocate for causes close to her heart. Despite her success, Ebere remained humble and always grounded by the love of her family. One evening, after a particularly long day, Chinedu and Adora found themselves sitting on the porch, watching Chiamaka play with her toys in the soft glow of the setting sun. The world seemed at peace, and for a moment all was right. Chinedu reached over and took Adora's hand, squeezing it gently. "You know," he began, his voice soft, "I never imagined life could be like this. After everything we've been through, I never thought we'd get to a place where we could just breathe." Adora nodded, her gaze fixed on their daughter, who was babbling happily to herself. "I know what you mean. There were times when I didn't think we'd make it. But now, looking at her, at us, it's all worth it." Chinedu smiled, his eyes filled with affection. "I'm so grateful for you, Adora. For everything you've given me. For the family we've built together." Adora turned to him, her heart swelling with emotion. "And I'm grateful for you, Chinedu. You saved me in more ways than one." I wouldn't be here without you. They shared a quiet moment, the bond between them stronger than ever. It was a bond forged in adversity, but now it was tempered by love, trust, and a shared vision of the future. They had come so far, and they knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together. As the weeks turned into months, Chiamaka grew, her personality blossoming. She was a happy, curious child, always exploring her surroundings and asking questions. Her laughter was infectious and she brought joy to everyone around her. Adora and Chinedu often marveled at how she seemed to embody the best parts of both of them, Adora's intelligence and Chinedu's strength. Their life together, though busy, was full of contentment. They hosted gatherings at the estate, inviting friends and family to share in their happiness. Chinedu's foundation continued to grow, making a real difference in the lives of those who needed it most. Adora's career flourished as well, and she found fulfillment in balancing her professional ambitions with her role as a mother and wife. Ibere, too, found love. She met a fellow artist, Kelechi, whose passion for life and art matched her own. Their connection was instant, and before long, they became inseparable. Kelechi's support and encouragement helped Ibere push her artistic boundaries even further, and their relationship blossomed into something beautiful. Adora was thrilled to see her sister so happy, and the two couples often spent time together, sharing meals, laughter, and dreams for the future. One day, as they all sat together in the garden, Chinedu looked around at the people he loved, the family he had built. Ibere and Kelechi were deep in conversation, their hands intertwined. Chiamaka was playing nearby, her giggles filling the air. And Adora, the woman who had become his everything, sat beside him, her smile radiant. In that moment, Chinedu realized that he had everything he had ever wanted. The darkness of the past had faded, replaced by a life filled with love, laughter, and endless possibilities. He knew there would be challenges ahead, there always were, but he also knew that with Adora by his side, they could overcome anything. As the sun set on that perfect day, Chinedu leaned over and kissed Adora softly on the lips. "I love you," he whispered, his voice filled with emotion. Adora smiled, her eyes shining with tears of happiness. "I love you too, Chinedu. Forever." And so, their journey continued. A journey marked by resilience, love, and an unbreakable bond. Together, they faced the world with open hearts, knowing that no matter what came their way, they would always have each other. The future was bright, and with their family by their side, Adora and Chinedu were ready to embrace whatever it held. Their story, once defined by struggle, had become one of triumph, a testament to the power of love and the strength of the human spirit. And as they looked forward to the years ahead, they knew that their greatest adventure was just beginning. As the years went by, life continued to flourish on the estates. Chiamaka grew into a bright and confident young girl, loved by everyone who crossed her path. She inherited her mother's intelligence and her father's determination, and she approached the world with a curiosity that both Adora and Chinedu encouraged. The estate, once a place of refuge, now echoed with the sound of Chiamaka's laughter and the chatter of guests who came to celebrate life's milestones with the family. Adora and Chinedu had settled into their roles as parents and partners, finding a balance between work and family that suited them perfectly. They had weathered storms together, and their love had only grown stronger as they faced each challenge side by side. The bond between them, forged in the fires of adversity, now stood as an unshakable foundation for the life they had built. Ibere and Kelechi had also found their rhythm. Their relationship blossomed into a deep and abiding love, and soon they were married in a joyful ceremony filled with laughter and tears. Ibere, ever the free spirit, found in Kelechi a partner who not only supported her dreams but also shared in her passion for life. Their home became a heaven for creativity, and together they traveled the world, drawing inspiration from new experiences and cultures. Yet, no matter how far they ventured, they always returned to the estate, where family awaited them with open arms. Chiamaka, now a spirited 7-year-old, had taken a particular interest in her aunt Ibere's art. She spent hours in Ibere's studio, watching her paint and asking endless questions. Ibere, delighted by her niece's curiosity, encouraged her to try her hand at painting, often guiding her little fingers as they created colorful masterpieces. It was clear that Chiamaka had inherited her aunt's artistic talent, and Adora and Chinedu were proud to see her developing a love for art at such a young age. One evening, after a long day of work, Adora and Chinedu found themselves sitting on the porch once again, watching Chiamaka play in the garden. The sun was setting, casting a golden glow over the estate, and everything seemed to be at peace. Adora leaned back in her chair, letting out a contented sigh. "Sometimes I still can't believe this is our life," she said, her voice soft. "After everything we've been through, it feels like a dream." Chinedu reached over and took her hand, his thumb gently caressing her skin. "It's not a dream, Adora. We made this life together, and we've earned every moment of it." Adora smiled, her heart swelling with love for the man beside her. "You're right, we did." They sat in comfortable silence for a while, watching as Chiamaka ran around the garden, her laughter filling the air. As the sky darkened and the stars began to appear, Adora felt a sense of calm wash over her. This was her life now, a life filled with love, laughter, and the promise of a bright future. But even in this peaceful moment, Adora couldn't shake a lingering thought. The world was unpredictable, and she knew that life could change in an instant. While she and Chinedu had built a life of security, there was always the possibility that something could disrupt it. She glanced at Chinedu, wondering if he shared her concerns. As if sensing her thoughts, Chinedu turned to her, his expression serious. "You're thinking about the future, aren't you?" Adora nodded, her gaze dropping to their intertwined hands. "I can't help it. We've been through so much, and I just want to make sure that Chiamaka, and all of us, are always safe." Chinedu squeezed her hand reassuringly. "We've done everything we can to protect our family, Adora. And we'll continue to do so. But we can't live in fear of what might happen. We have to enjoy what we have now." Adora knew he was right, but the worry still lingered in the back of her mind. She had seen how quickly life could change, and she didn't want to be caught off guard again. But Chinedu's words reassured her, and she resolved to focus on the present, on the happiness they had worked so hard to achieve. Over the next few months, life continued to be filled with joy and love. Chinedu's foundation expanded, reaching more people in need, and Adora found herself being recognized in her industry as a leader and innovator. Together, they supported each other's ambitions while never losing sight of what mattered most, their family. Then, one day, as Adora was going through some old papers, she came across a letter she had written to herself years ago. It was during one of the darkest times of her life when she had been filled with fear and uncertainty. The letter was a reminder to herself to stay strong, to believe in the possibility of a better future, even when it seemed impossible. As she read the words she had written so long ago, Adora felt a wave of emotion wash over her. She had come so far since then, she had survived, and more than that, she had thrived. And now, as she looked around at the life she had built, she knew that she had fulfilled the promise she had made to herself in that letter. Later that evening, she shared the letter with Chinedu, who read it in silence before pulling her into his arms. "You were so strong, even back then," he whispered. "And look at what we've built because of that strength." Adora nodded, tears brimming in her eyes. "I couldn't have done it without you, Chinedu. You gave me the strength to keep going." They sat together in the quiet of the night, reflecting on their journey and the life they had built together. The past had shaped them, but it did not define them. They had chosen love, resilience, and hope, and those choices had led them to this moment. As they held each other, they knew that no matter what the future held, they would face it together, as they always had. Their story was far from over, but they were ready for whatever came next. And with their hearts full of love and their spirits strong, Adora and Chinedu looked forward to the many chapters yet to be written in their lives, a story of family, strength, and the unbreakable bond that had carried them through it all. The story of Adora and Chinedu offers several moral lessons. 1. Resilience in the face of adversity. Life may present challenges and hardships, but resilience and determination can help you overcome even the darkest times. Adora and Chinedu's ability to endure and push through their struggles ultimately led to a brighter and more fulfilling future. 2. The power of love and family. Love, trust, and family are powerful forces that can help heal wounds and provide strength during difficult times. The bond between Adora, Chinedu, and Ebere demonstrates how a strong support system can carry you through life's challenges. 3. Personal growth through adversity. Difficult experiences can lead to personal growth and transformation. Both Adora and Chinedu evolved as individuals, becoming stronger and more compassionate as a result of their experiences. This growth helped them build a better life for themselves and those they loved. 4. The importance of forging your own path. Despite their difficult pasts, Adora and Chinedu chose to create a life that reflected their values and desires. Their story emphasizes the importance of making choices that align with who you want to be, regardless of where you've been. 5. Hope and optimism. Even in the face of overwhelming odds, holding on to hope and believing in the possibility of a better future can make all the difference. Adora's letter to herself, written during her darkest moments, serves as a reminder that hope can be a guiding light during tough times. 6. Building a legacy. By focusing on love, charity, and positive contributions to their community, Adora and Chinedu built a legacy that extended beyond their personal lives. Their commitment to helping others shows that true success is measured not just by what you achieve for yourself but also by what you give back to others. These lessons reflect the themes of strength, love, and perseverance woven throughout the story, reminding us that with courage and compassion, we can overcome challenges and build a life filled with purpose and joy. Thank you so much for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you enjoy this story, give it a thumbs up, comment and share. Thank you and God bless you.